PMG Radio. Respect your jaw.
You know what I'm saying? Word up. All right, man. Let's tap into a few things, man. All right. First things first. I want to get into, man. I don't know if y'all got wind of what's going on with Flex and this whole Tupac thing. For whatever reason, have you? What rock you be under, like? But
and I'm way out of tune, and I know about that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Flex for whatever reason has been like, you know what I mean, just bombing on Tupac recently, just for, you know, the whole, you know, things that happened literally 15, 20 years ago at this point. And, you know, the robbery, you know, Tupac, you know, the robbery at Quad Studios where he got shot, and then he blamed Biggie, then Tupac blamed Biggie for it. You know, Flex is just like, yo, Pac lied, Biggie ain't have nothing to do with it. He knew Biggie had nothing to do with it, blah, blah, blah. Then just, you know, Tupac was no real gangster. Suge, nobody was scared of Suge. Like, all of these things that happened, like I said, 15, 20 years ago. Okay. Here's my thing, right? One thing I don't like is how, number one, Flex is Flex. Flex is going to be Flex. We all know who's Flex is. Flex been on the radio for damn near 50 years at this point. We all know that. You know what I mean? All right. We understand that. He's going to be who he is. But I don't like how everybody has an opinion on the 90s that weren't a part of 90s hip-hop. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I was there for that. So I feel like myself and anybody from that era's opinion is valid. I just don't like to see these new hipsters or these new internet kids who just came along in the early 2000s that have an opinion on what Flex is saying. You understand? That's one. Two, my only issue with some of the things Flex is saying is, one, Pac is dead. He's not here to defend himself. Right. I don't like that. You understand? I don't like you going hard at somebody who can't even speak for themselves at this point. Big ain't here. Pac ain't here. Suge Knight is in jail. These people can't talk for themselves. He even had some things to say about Tax Stone. Tax Stone is in jail right now.
Waited till everybody.
Yeah, like Tax Stone is in jail right now. So it just, for me, for him being a figure in hip, I just don't get it. Like, I don't get what's the point of it. I don't get why Pac is even a topic of discussion for him at this time.
Like, that's what I'm thinking. What triggered it off? Like,
it really did, though. It really did. Like, it came out of the blue, and for whatever reason, he spent like 4 or 5 days on this.
Oh, wow.
I'm talking about on the radio, on his Instagram Live, on Instagram. Yeah. Like, he just kept going on and on, crying and all of that. Like, okay.
Oh, wow.
I think something's wrong with this.
He said, one thing I took umbrage with. Did I say that the right way?
Yeah, you got it.
I did? I got, all right. JC's our resident dictionary here. You know what I mean? I didn't like when he said these things when Pac was alive. He didn't. Now me, I was a radio head. Like, coming from the 90s, we did not have social media or the internet. I was literally around. Me and JC were literally around for the computer. You know what I mean? For the invention of the computer. Yeah. That just says how old we are. We were literally around for the invention. When the computer was created, we was there for that. So, me being a radio head, I grew up, me being a 90s baby, born in the 80s, raised in the 90s, I grew up on the radio. We did not have social media. We did not have the internet. The radio and news, like TV news, were our outlets to the world. Yep. That's how we knew what was going on in the world. I didn't like the news. So the news was depressing to me. Shootings, killings, muggings, drug dealings, robberies, rapes. Like, the fucking news was depressing to me. I would probably watch it once briefly throughout the day, and that's it. The rest of my day was pure radio. Morning, noon, night. Radio, radio, radio. All right? Flex being... honestly, it was my favorite show, but it was probably my favorite show by default in the evening because he was the only show.
I was about to say.
It was like literally nothing else. Unless you went to BLS, or BLS had the smooth shit, but it was like the smooth older shit. I'm too young for that. And then you had Kiss FM was like the funk shui up-tempo shit at the time in the evening. You understand what I'm saying? Like, for the older crowd, though. It really wasn't for the 12, 13, 14-year-olds like myself. So we had Hot 97. That's what we had. I used to listen to Flex religiously at night. Now, during the Pac and Biggie thing, during the whole quote-unquote East Coast, West Coast thing, everybody on the East Coast was preaching, let's keep the peace. There wasn't nobody going at the West Coast the way the West Coast was going at us, except for Mobb Deep. Mobb Deep was literally the only crew or people from New York City that actually said something back to Suge and them at that time. Mobb Deep made a couple of records going at them at the time. And here's a little bit of hip-hop history. That's actually how the whole Prodigy and Jay-Z beef started. Because Jay-Z said on Money Cash Hoes, it's like New York been soft ever since Snoop kicked down the buildings. And Prodigy didn't like that because they was actually the ones speaking for New York at the time.
Okay.
That's how that whole beef started. Flex was not on the radio bombing on Pac like he is now, yo. He was not. That's a fact. I'm sorry. And this is no shade or no hate towards. I fuck with Flex. I love what he's doing for New York hip hop right now. He's giving a lot of talented people from the city a voice and a platform to be heard right now. I fuck with him for that. But the truth is the truth, homie. He wasn't speaking like this when that whole shit was going. Him, Angie, Red Alert, Miss Jones, everybody was talking that let's keep the peace shit, yo. Everybody was saying, yo, let's not let nobody get hurt over this, yo. Everybody was trying to downplay it.
But who is he talking to? Like, who is he? Who's engaging him in this conversation? Like,
he's engaging himself. Nobody.
I think he was just throwing some shit out there, like, for attention.
It's like when somebody just brings something up and just starts talking to themselves for days about it. Like, nobody. Like, nobody asked them about it. Like, no, nothing. Nobody knows where is this coming from.
Oh, interesting.
You understand what I'm saying? But for whatever reason, he just feels the need to go on and on about it. Like I said, I don't like when he said that. When he said this when Pac was alive. Nigga, no, you didn't. You wasn't saying none of this.
That shit in his house.
Well, you must have said it in a small room somewhere. You was not on the radio every night saying these things. You wasn't. So that's just what it is with that, yo. You understand what I'm saying? Like I said, man, and I'm not saying nobody was scared of them niggas out here because, you know, like I said, I'm just not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say no. I did not like the way them niggas felt comfortable coming out here, though. I will say that time. Them niggas was going hard on New York and was coming to New York whenever they felt like it. Yep. Them niggas came out here for the Source Awards. Them niggas came out here for the MTV Awards with Death Row, E-Signs, and all of that shit. And niggas wasn't doing nothing. So it is what it is. That's just the truth, yo.
That's history.
Them niggas was out here, took that fucking whatever amount, 6-hour flight from LA, whatever it is, and came out to New York and was out here comfortable. That's a fact.
Yep.
I mean, you know, Snoop and them got their trailers shot up during the New York video, but I mean, trailers don't bleed, so I don't know what that was supposed to do.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, come on, man, don't do that. Like, I just don't like when people put out false representations of what was going on at that time. Because at that time, we all know niggas in New York was not talking all of that gangster shit to them niggas, yo. Niggas out here was like, yo, it ain't that serious. Yeah. And them niggas going at everybody every fucking day.
West Coast was the one that was pushing it.
Every day, them niggas. And it wasn't just Pac, it was everybody out there. Everybody out there was bombing on New York.
And as you said, if anything was ever going to be said, now isn't the time. It should have been said. It should have been said back then. I'm not going to say what does it matter now, but really, like,
that's the thing. Nobody. Like, I'm still trying to figure this shit out. When he said it, I was like, wait, what is he doing? Like, what is he talking about right now?
Right. And once again, it'll be
kept going, like, day after day. You kept I was like, yo, you got to let this go, dude.
Yeah, man. It just crazy.
Everybody was pissed at him. Like, yo, what are you doing? Like, why are you speaking on the dead like that? Like,
yeah, man. Don't talk down on somebody who's not here to defend themselves, man. Especially when you wasn't saying this when a nigga was alive, yo. For real, man. Pac
got the platform, and you wasn't saying any of that.
Come on, man. Pac got shot. Niggas was sending well wishes and hope he gets stayed and all that. It wasn't no the nigga lying. It wasn't none of that shit, yo. So it is what it is, man. That's just my personal point of view on that, man. Jay, what you think about that? I mean, you came from that time too, yo.
Flex needs to just, find something else to do, man. Like, I mean, I like the freestyle shit he got when he got the people coming up. I like that, but I just feel like I don't know. Like, I feel like he just do shit for attention these days. Like, he kind of do random shit like this every once in a while for attention, and I'm like, yo, like, what? Like, yo, you like 50-some years old. Like, what are you trying to accomplish? Like, you've been through it all. You've seen it all. and you engaging in this whack shit, it's like, yo, we all been there. Like, we're younger than you, and we were there. Like, we know what happened. So you're not fooling us. Like,
it's like,
who are you trying to fool?
Thank you. And that's really my thing, because it's like, these new kids, yeah, you could get them because they don't know nothing.
Right.
They don't know about. We was there for that. Like, we was there. Like,
we
every
knew
day.
the climate, what the climate was. It was not that.
No.
So,
no, it definitely wasn't that, man. So that's just, I just wanted to get that off my chest, man.
Him, man.
You know what I mean?
You're so serious. I don't know what to say.
All right, yo. Next thing, man. Matter of fact, before we do that, what was it like? You was out in London.
Yeah, what was that about?
Did y'all pay attention to that? Around that time, the whole Pac and Biggie thing?
Yeah, like, you know, my older cousins and, like, you know what I mean, my cousins, like, the males that I was around at the time, they were obviously more into that than I was. So, yeah,
Okay.
it was definitely...
It definitely touched on your radar.
Oh, no, completely. Like, the whole, you know, when the whole beef was going on, I felt like I was American just because it was so... We're so heavily influenced, you know what I mean, by you guys. So I felt like I was part of the process too. And
did y'all have a similar? Like, do you have anything similar to that out there, like a beef or like
nothing that got like to the point where both died? No, nothing.
Interesting.
I got you, man. Before we move on, yo, you sure you don't know what my Reese's peanut butter cup went for that show last time?